everyone, I am going to talk about our experience with Home Chef. We made 3 different recipes and we got everything for less than $30. We thought all of the food was really good and really easy to make. We did a salmon with brown butter tomato relish and wild rice. The second meal we had was a steak strip chimichanga with pico de gallo, and we had a Japanese barbecue burger with smoky potato wedges. The meal we're starting with first is the salmon meal. I would consider this probably my second favorite out of everything. I absolutely love salmon, but I find that I don't actually buy it very often. I think part of that has to do with the fact that I don't know what to do with salmon all of the times. Like, I honestly can just stick salmon in the oven, put salt and pepper and maybe lemon on it, and I can eat it that way every single time. But I think my husband gets kind of bored with the same things, so it's kind of nice and refreshing to try something new, yet easy, to kind of switch things up. So I would have never thought about making a tomato relish on salmon before. I thought it was so delicious, and it's something that my husband really liked too, and I found that it was even a healthy recipe, so I can definitely appreciate that. I can definitely see myself making something similar to this in the future, even without Home Chef. The cool thing about the Home Chef recipes is that you can see the calorie breakdown of each meal. You can see how long that the meals will take you to cook too. So I like that a lot. So here's where we are making the tomato relish. So I just put in the butter and I add the tomatoes. Grainy mustard isn't necessarily something that I would have on hand, but I have garlic and I like fresh parsley, but there's the mustard. I definitely like that touch a lot, but there is the 2 meals. At first I thought it wasn't a lot and I wouldn't be full afterwards, but I actually found that I was full. But typically I think if I were to make this meal on my own, I would have like an additional side of vegetables. So the second meal, I would consider this my least favorite out of the 3. It was still really good, but it wasn't my favorite. And my husband actually ended up making this recipe, so that was fun. You're gonna see him chop some vegetables. Please don't judge him. He does not cook often, doesn't really like cooking. Here I'm actually teaching him how to take the insides of the pepper out, so that was fun. The red peppers are gonna be used for the inside of the chimichangas. So you can see the pico de gallo here, the tomato and cilantro, but that's all that came in the package. I would have probably added onion and lime in the pico de gallo because it seemed kind of incomplete to be honest. That is taco seasoning mixed with the steak strips. I don't think the steak strips were cut as well as I would have cut them, but we still managed fairly well. Here I'm just adding a little bit of salt per what the recipe said. The tomatoes seemed a little off in color, but they tasted fine. I think it was still fresh. And we're just cooking up the steak strips that is seasoned with the taco seasoning. While he was doing that, I prepared the flour tortillas with the cheese mixture. In the background, you can see him washing out the pan, even though he wasn't supposed to. The recipe said that you should cook the red bell peppers in the same pan as the steak, but he didn't read that part. So here he's adding some of his own flavoring. He added chili powder and cumin to the red bell peppers. That's the inside of the chimichangas. After both the red bell pepper and the steak strips are cooked, you're gonna put the enchilada sauce in the mixture and cook that up for just a little bit. While you're doing that, you can probably preheat the oven. Once all of that is cooked, then you can put the filling into the flour tortillas. I like the fact that the Home Chef box comes with recipes that are fairly easy, so it can be something that my husband cooks. When I cook, I like to have enough so that there are leftovers. That's just me. If I'm gonna do the work in the kitchen, I would want the food to last versus, you know, making a mess in the kitchen and only having enough for one meal. But a lot of people are different. There's a lot of people that don't like leftovers. Those are all the dishes that we have for 2 chimichangas that are gonna last us one night. So to me and my personality, I don't like that, but I wouldn't have thought of making chimichangas by myself, so I can definitely see why where Home Chef has its value, and that's in providing good recipes that are easy to follow and delicious and fresh. So instead of going out to eat, we can just eat at home. This meal was definitely my favorite, and it was my husband's favorite as well. I loved this. It's a twist on a typical burger that I would make at home. I actually usually buy the frozen patties, but this was just fresh ground beef, and you just shape it and stick it on the pan and cook it. And the coleslaw topping here, you just put mayonnaise and olive oil and then some sriracha, and that was it. And then that's your topping on the burger. It was really good and really simple. And then the sauce, instead of doing like mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard, you just do barbecue sauce and teriyaki sauce. And that is all. It is so good. I think this recipe is even more simple than a regular burger because I end up chopping onions, tomato, and lettuce. But the coleslaw mixture is basically what you would use as a substitute for all those toppings. I thought these potato wedges were really good. I don't typically make potatoes this way. I normally just make kind of like potato cubes, I guess, and bake it that way. But this was kind of a nice spin on the kind of potatoes that we eat. And I thought that the seasoning that came with it was really good. It was, apparently it was just a chili and cumin rub. I don't know why I haven't really messed with making my own burger patties, but after seeing how easy it is, I think I'm gonna do that from now on. Yeah, really, really good. And I didn't overcook it or undercook it. The buns that came with it were really good too. I think this burger was even tastier because I normally get whole wheat buns, but these were really good buns. That's the finished product. So good. Yes. I definitely want this like today again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All of this cost us less than $30. The way you do that is by using a code that someone gets from Home Chef. So I will leave mine down below. You are welcome to use it. But Home Chef, I think they run a lot of promotions so that you are able to try their service at a discount. Would I purchase Home Chef again? I think I would if I had the same deal. So like if my mom decides to try this with my coupon code, which I don't think she will. If she decided to, I think I would get $30 off again, and if I did, I would go ahead and purchase another box, but I don't think I would necessarily purchase this at full price. I love not having to think about what I'm gonna make. I love not having to go out and shop for the ingredients per se, especially now that I have a little baby that isn't as easy, and like I can't even imagine going back to work and having to like worry about dinner too. But I also love that my husband can make a meal and it's really easy on him because he can follow step by step. I would say a con would be that doing all that work for just one meal isn't really my thing. I think I would like to have leftovers, but every once in a while this is nice. Like, I don't think I would necessarily want to eat burgers every single day, whereas this, you know, you can make fresh burger and fresh fries. That was pretty cool. So let me know if I can answer any of your questions. Leave them down below. If you guys try Home Chef and end up liking it, let me know. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.